Hello, guys, and we have a dashing of crypto news for you. Going to start with FTX. Yes, the repayment rumors are false, and we're going to talk about how that affects the crypto bull run. Now, we know that FTX is paying back all their customers in cash. It's $11 billion or so. And since they're repaying back in cash, people might want to reinvest that cash into Bitcoin. So we're thinking of like a bit of a pump when that happens because, like they already sold out and now they're going to pay their customers back. But there were some rumors that the repayment were going to start today. That is not true at all, and they got the information wrong. So rumors are circulating on social media that FTX bankruptcy estate will begin distributing reimbursement funds to creditors and customers on September 30th, but those rumors are false. According to their Chapter 11, which is their bankruptcy filing, the next court hearing to confirm restructuring plan is October 7th. Judge John T. Dorsey of the United States Bankruptcy Court for the District of Delaware will oversee the hearing. If the plan is approved, which I'm hoping it will be because that means you get your money back sooner if it's approved, those with claims under 50K could start receiving payments by the end of 2024. So December 2024 is when the small claims can be repaid. The larger claims will actually be repaid until in the first or second quarter of 2025. What does this mean? It gets pushed back. The bull run might have gotten pushed back, at least in respect to FTX. I think there's other things that will pump it, but if you're looking for that injection of $11 billion, some of it's going to come in December of 2024, most likely, if this thing gets approved, obviously. And the rest will come in the first 6 months of 2025. That means we could have a later but more extended bull run. It won't be all compacted all at once. When the FTX money comes in, it'll be over like the first 2 quarters. But $11 billion is a lot of money. Not all of it is going to go back into crypto, of course. People aren't going to reinvest all of it, but just a small portion of it would actually be enough buying pressure for crypto to go up. But that is not going to come September 30th. There was a rumor online that was the case. That is definitely not the case. And it's going to have to be December 2024 and first and second quarter of 2025. Now, there are some creditors that face opposition that are opposed to the plan. These include a request to be compensated with in-kind assets rather than cash in opposition to the taxable event that a cash payout would trigger. So they want like Bitcoins back and coins back, and the other people want to pay money back. And part of that is because of taxes. But if you have in kind as well, remember, like they're taking the crypto value basically like in 2 years ago, and the Bitcoin value 2 years ago is like a fourth of what it is now. So in kind would get them to be paid back more. Now, if it's not approved because of this opposition, this will drag out even longer and we won't get that boost until later in the year. So if the plan doesn't get approved, like that incentive or that pump from the $11 billion or part of the $11 billion probably won't come until later in 2025. If it gets approved, it'll be like Q4 2024 and Q1 and Q2 2025. So I think that means the bull run will probably stretch out, more likely to stretch out at least until June of next year and maybe even into the fall. The current distribution plan stipulates that creditors will be reimbursed according to the date the legal petition was filed. And at that time, Bitcoin was $16,000. Obviously, right now, it's like $64,000. Once again, like I said, 1/4 of what you're worth right now. And of course, a lot of people don't like that, but in that way, FTX really doesn't have that much money because they obviously went bankrupt. And when you go bankrupt, you can't just like pay back, like they basically got liquidated then. And now if they have to pay back at the Bitcoin value now, they're never really going to be able to pay it back because they just don't have the money because they liquidated their money like quite a while ago. And they obviously can't follow the price growth back up. I think so it's partially because of the taxes stuff that they want to be repaid in kind, but partially because they're only getting a fourth of the money back, and which kind of really sucks for them, obviously. There is a mysterious Google login attack on Polymarket, and some people have gotten their wallets drained. So you might want, if you're a election bettor on Polymarket, you might want to pay attention to this. And they've complained of a mysterious Google login wallet attack. The attacker used a proxy function to swipe victims' USDC balances, but only a small number of Google login users have been affected. So yeah, I'm not really sure if you were affected, you can get your money back. But I don't think I'll be messing with Polymarkets too often right now. And definitely keep your Google stuff safe because people are attacking through this vector. So some users of Polymarket prediction market app are complaining that their wallets were mysteriously drained after they logged in via Google accounts. So basically, they use the Google accounts to log into Polymarket. There was some kind of hack with Google logins. And hopefully this doesn't apply to your other crypto stuff. I mean, I have not had anyone log into my Google accounts, so I don't know. I think they were specifically targeting Polymarket users. After making deposits, users found that their wallets were wiped out, leaving a balance of 0. The attacks have not occurred against users that relied on wallet browser extensions such as MetaMask or Trust Wallet. So basically, if you use one of the hot wallets to log in and stuff, you are okay. But if you use Google login, somehow they proxied and attacked that. Basically, one person claimed that he lost over $1,000 from Binance to Polymarket on August 5th. However, after hours of waiting, the deposit did not show up in his account with the Polymarket app. Believing something was wrong with his account, Hugo joined the Polymarket Discord server in an attempt to get help. He found that many other users were having similar problems that seemed to be connected to the user interface issue. This made him feel relieved, so he stopped worrying about it. However, later that day, the deposit appeared on the interface. However, he stated it vanished almost as quickly as it came. In fact, his entire USDC balance of 1188 was wiped out. This balance included $102 that had been in the account before the deposit was made. But the thing is, the open trades on Polymarket were untouched, so it was just the stuff in the wallet. So it's kind of a weird hack, and I'm not really sure what's going on. I don't think Polymarket exactly knows what's going on right now. They're aware of the problem, and his balance has been sent to account labeled fake phishing 399064, and then he asked customer support, and customer support asked, "Have you withdrawn that amount?" He asked, "No, I haven't." "Are you sure it wasn't you then?" He's like, "I'm 100% sure." So basically, yeah, there's been a hack to Polymarkets via Google accounts. There's probably some breach in data between those two. Basically, they were wondering if your PK got leaked or you got phished somehow, but I don't think he did. So obviously, the tech help guy is did you mess up? But it looks like it was a breach, and it affected several users in Polymarket, and a Polymarket is probably going to have to make amends for it. After asking a few more questions, the agent told him that the team was investigating the anomaly and would contact him when they discovered more information. So several people lost several $1,000s. I think the total swipe was only $70,000. But if they don't fix it, it could actually be much, much greater in the future because, they can just keep doing this, or they can go on they can essentially expand their plan and maybe even close the open trades, but I think that would be a lot more noticeable. So that is the Polymarket / Google login attack on the USDC accounts. There's been a debate that MicroStrategy is a better investment than Bitcoin right now, and I actually completely agree with that because MicroStrategy's ROI, I'm not talking about the fundamentals or anything, I'm just talking about ROI wise. MicroStrategy is a much better investment than Bitcoin. Because it has gone up 36x, and it will probably continue to grow faster than Bitcoin. I've explained this before on stream. So based on ROI alone, I would definitely be buying MicroStrategy or maybe even Coinbase rather than Bitcoin itself. Now, MSTR is more direct than Coinbase because Coinbase's price, yes, it is very heavily linked to Bitcoin's success or failure, up or down. But MicroStrategy is more direct because Coinbase has other things they're invested in Ethereum, they have trading fees and stuff like that. MicroStrategy, because they own so much Bitcoin, their valuation is almost completely and utterly tied to Bitcoin's price. But it's not one-to-one with Bitcoin. See, all these companies have a baseline of costs. And if you hit that baseline of cost, basically every dollar upward from that has an exponential effect upward on the stock price, and every dollar downward has an exponential price downward. So it's a little bit like leverage, but it's not leverage because you won't be liquidated unless you sell the stock. So in a bull market, something like MicroStrategy is just a better investment than Bitcoin, and it will deliver greater returns. So, if Bitcoin, goes from 20x top to bottom, MicroStrategy might go 60, 70x. It actually might act like an altcoin, but it probably doesn't have the risk of an altcoin because you're basically depending on Bitcoin's volatility, which is less volatile than other coins. And you know that Bitcoin is not going to go kaput anytime soon. So essentially, if you hold on for 4 years, you're almost guaranteeing yourself a bigger return than if you hold Bitcoin for 4 years. However, just like Bitcoin, you will have to have the patience to hold out for 4 years. Like some altcoins within that 4 year cycle can completely die and just not resurrect in the next bull market. But you know that Bitcoin will indeed resurrect in the next bull market because Bitcoin is not going anywhere, at least for 1 or 2 more cycles. And that's because, like I said, MicroStrategy's stock price is entirely tied to Bitcoin. I think they own like something like 200 something thousand Bitcoin. Yes, they do like computer security software, but no one really cares about that portion of their business. They're all about buying and holding Bitcoin. So like they're basically going to be like a leverage version of Bitcoin. It's not like leverage because you can't get wiped out if you hold MSTR, but your fluctuations up and down will be kind of like that. It'll just never go to zero and you won't get liquidated. So instead of playing leverage or playing like random altcoins, if you just want a more volatile version of Bitcoin that is completely tied to Bitcoin, I would definitely look at MicroStrategy. Now you're might have some heart attacks, when Bitcoin like today loses like $1,000, but let's remember that like $1,000 is only 1.8%. Like $1,100 is not like when Bitcoin is at 5,000, it's like 20%. It is only 1.8%, so it's not that big of a movement. But yes, MicroStrategy, I do believe in the bull run. And like per 4 year cycle is going to be a superior ROI investment than Bitcoin with about the same risk as Bitcoin, unless you like really, really need the money that you invested in the next 4 years. Then it carries extra risk over Bitcoin. But if you can afford to hang on to it for over a cycle, then I think that is the investment to go rather than Bitcoin itself. Now, if you're a purist, that's obviously not the case. But if you're just in it for the ROI, that probably is the case. And of course, we got to talk about XRP's moved up like 10, I think like 10% over the last couple of days. And we got to talk about why it is. Now, one of the reasons is because they're essentially going to launch RLUSD, their stablecoin, and they've been making a lot of a lot of news about this. They minted like 99% of the supply essentially overnight, like a day or two ago. So that signals that they are going to start developing in that stablecoin sector. They did say that XRP was going to be the gas token. Now, I personally think that RLUSD will eventually replace XRP in their cross-border transfers. A lot of their people don't really believe that, but I can kind of see the writing on the wall because they're already being forced to actually use Tether right now in the United States for cross-border transfers. They would much rather just use RLUSD. And I think if you look at the entire payments market, pretty much everyone is moving towards stablecoins, and I don't think Ripple is going to be any different because they want to compete in this market. So RLUSD right now, it is giving the XRP ledger some excitement, your own branded stablecoin that could actually play a large role in payments. Now, it's going to have to compete with USDT and USDC, which already have a lot of the market, so I'm not really sure how it's going to do, but at least you have a foot in the door in that market. The other reason is because Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson are going to like a Fed FinTech conference in a couple of weeks. So the date of that conference, I believe, is October 22nd to 23rd. So if you're into the buy the rumors, sell the news type of thing, keep that date in mind. And if you're buying on that basis, I would sell maybe like a week or two before. Sometimes it peaks like a week before the conference. Sometimes it peaks after the conference, and then it kind of like peters off. So if you're if you're investing on buy the rumor, sell the news, remember the October 22 to 23 date. So yeah, it's gotten like a 10% pump. The volume is very, very high on Upbit right now, which is the main place like XRP does pump, and that generates like half the volume of XRP basically. The pump has been taken it pumps up like a penny and then stalls for a while and then pumps up a little bit more. So it's been climbing for about 2 days. It might reach its apex pretty soon. So like right now is probably not a great time to buy in for XRP. That would have been like 2 days ago if you're looking for short-term trading wise. My thoughts on the overall coin haven't really changed. I don't really think it's going anywhere, but this is one of those FOMO pump opportunities. And I do believe as we get to October 22, 23, which is, less than a month away, that FOMO will start to wear off. But yeah, that's why it's actually pumping today in terms of XRP, because once again, Larson and Garlinghouse are going to that Fed Reserve FinTech conference, so that gets people excited for future aspirations, and they minted so much RLUSD. And I also think it has to do with the combination of these two events so close to each other that they're going to like make RLUSD a big thing or make a big topic at the Fed conference, but they are just one of the many companies that are actually going to the Fed FinTech conference. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.